Hi guys, so while ordinary people are cutting back on pretty much everything in order to save money that will likely be spent on either food or energy, businesses are facing an existential threat, one that is even worse than the pandemic. Michelle Ovens CBE, who is the founder of an organisation to represent small businesses, spoke to Sky News about some of the problems they face and the dire need for government support at this time. Have a listen.
Input costs are going up, export costs are going up, finance costs are going up, energy costs, of course, are skyrocketing, and businesses just can't make a positive margin anymore.
Do you think some of them are actually facing that final decision of just having to close? There's no option.
We've seen more businesses close in the last couple of months than we did at the height of the pandemic because businesses need the help right now.
So do you think that the government is doing enough, or do you think they have to step it up?
Absolutely, that they're going to need to step it up over the next couple of months, or we're going to see a real crisis for small businesses.
I think you're going to see many businesses close, even if there is support, because of the points that she raised here. So first she talked about import costs are going up, export costs are going up, and we all know the reason for that. Part of it, of course, is inflation, but also Brexit is playing its part here as well. This is, once again, this is something that was not necessary, but you know, you had to keep the racists and bigots happy. Then she talked about finance costs going up. This, of course, is related to interest rates, bank loans, things like that. That's creating an extra cost for businesses. If they have loans, they're going to have to pay more. Some of them are maybe struggling at the moment to pay those loans back. And it's going to be difficult. I think what's going to come as well is there's going to be probably a credit crunch where it's going to be difficult for businesses to access loans unless the government step in and provide support. And then she said also that this is worse for businesses than the pandemic. And we saw the damage the pandemic did to businesses. Many of them were closed for months. Some of them closed permanently. There was a real concern, for example, in hospitality with their after closing for such a long time, would they ever reopen again? And of course they had to lay off staff and then try to get staff again. And you know, if a business is waiting for support and that support doesn't come in time, they may end up having to lay workers off, close the business for a period, and even if the support does come, it's difficult to get things up and running again. And there's always the concern that yes, I could try again, but if inflation is running at close to 18%, you know, what's the point? And it's important to note here, it's not mentioned in the video, but it's important to note that 16 million people are employed by small and medium-sized enterprises. So if a lot of these companies go under, you're going to see mass unemployment. There's unemployment at the moment is starting to creep up because many of these businesses are already struggling. They're not even waiting until October to start laying people off and to close their operations. They're seeing massive bills at the moment and there is no support. Liz Truss talks about tax cuts. Rishi Sunak, it's a bit pointless talking about Rishi Sunak because he's unlikely to be the next Prime Minister. So the focus is on Liz Truss and she's talking about cutting VAT. But as I said in another video, I don't see that really having a real impact because you're cutting VAT on things that people are not really buying at the moment. You know, food, rent, mortgages, these are VAT exempt. So it may help some businesses a little bit, but they're going to see fewer and fewer customers because people themselves are cutting back. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.